Hello, we'll talk about herbs today. There are multiple reasons to have a herb garden in your house. Most people will call it herbs, especially in North America. I have a different accent, so I'll call it herbs. Each herb has its own natural quality, distinct flavor, and eventually, when herbs start growing and start flowering, they become a beautiful pollinator. So you can use herbs for multiple different reasons. I already started some herbs over here. You'll see it later. I bought some actually, I won't use the word bought. A friend of mine, you know him, my friend Bob, he gave it to me. Not for free, but at the same time, he buys things for himself in bulk and he just gives it to me for the same price. So, my friend Bob. That's why it's good to have friends. I've different herbs sitting over here. In one of my videos, I already talked about lemongrass, how you can start from store bought. Those things are sitting behind me, and I'll grow those also. So, what do I have over here? Parsley. This is regular curly parsley. Sometimes you do things for the looks. Rosemary. I always confuse between rosemary and lavender. Even after all these years, I confuse myself because the leaves are very close to each other. And I'll put lavender over here mostly for the flowers. I don't use that as herbs. And the reason I do that is I want as many bees which can happen over here that is possible. So that's that. Thyme, which kind is this? It's lemon. And I already have a regular thyme going in there before I move to this one, this one. This is, again, regular thyme, rue. Most people don't know much about rue. Thing about rue, some people find it poisonous. I don't. It's a Mexican herb. When you smell it, it reminds me of how a curry flavor in Pakistan smells. Wonderful herb, a bit bitter, so it has to be used properly. So we got two rue, and the next one is basil. It's too cold for me to put basil, but just for the sake of this video, I'm not about to plant this today, but just want to explain. It's a bit too cold to start cilantro. It's too cold to start basil right now. So it's just for me to show you. Now let's talk about planting. This is the whole area, and I'll overplant things because what I want, and in the months to come by, you'll see, I want them growing everywhere and they all have different colors, different smells, different properties. So I've got my herbs over here. I'm about to plant them. And as I already said, I like to plant especially herbs overcrowded. What you don't see over here right now, I have put certain things towards the end everywhere. What I have put, any onion which is growing, any garlic which is growing, since it has been cold over here, they're not growing, like you don't see it, but I know. So eventually you'll see it. So not only I'll talk about what you buy from a store, how to plant it, eventually I'll talk about something which I've discussed in a previous video, something which is store-bought and you repurpose it. And there are few things over here that we'll discuss. So let's start over here. The best thing to do, you will not be able to plant everything in this garden. So there are other places also. You start putting, take a few out. 3 is a good measure right now. I'll take the tag. I'll leave this out. Again, 3 will be good measure. This is curly parsley. Oops. So what needs to be done? Before I do anything, sage, a different kind of sage over here, regular sage, different onions which have been growing over time. Onion, again, when I talk about onion, I always say you would not about, when you grow it this way from an old onion, you're not about to get an onion out of it. You're about to get the greens. What I'll do is I'll use the greens over here and over here. As soon as it becomes to the point of flower, I'll let it flower. Couple of simple reasons. A good pollinator. And yes, for next year I can find seeds. So you don't have to eat everything. And the reason I say everything, because if you don't eat and you let the flowers grow, it's still good for your garden. Okay, so parsley, parsley, and let's mix it. So curly, let's do it different. So I'll start with parsley, curly, regular, curly, and curly again. That's just parsley. I'll put rue somewhere here. I already start with rosemary. So I'll put it over here because rosemary, when it comes together, it looks such a beautiful green. Actually, this might not be rosemary. This might be lavender. As I said earlier, I keep on confusing them. Oh, no, this is lavender, so I'm wrong. And I'll figure out a spot for lavender. You see, rue. I already put one over here. I'll do another one over here. Opposites sometimes look fine or nice. Thyme over here. So I'll put another thyme over here. And this one again is the regular thyme. I'll put it somewhere here. This is my rough idea right now. And this is where the fun starts. Because when you're putting it, and as I said, I like to overcrowd these things. By the time it grows, it will almost look like a huge something and look so beautiful. In the months to come, you'll see it. You've already seen my technique. Because the soil, if you've seen my previous videos, is so good, I don't need a tool. Journal idea, and as I'm planting them, I might move some things around because you realize proportionally it's not working. I also bought lemongrass, and I want to talk about it because in a previous video of mine, I told you don't have to spend that much money on lemongrass. That was true and still true. This is something which I was growing. You would not be able to see this right now, but if you go to a previous video of mine, it has beautiful root system. So in this raised herb garden, I'll put these compared to this one because I have other places also. Again, my idea would be space them somehow, some roughly putting right now. Keep in mind, lemongrass grows differently. The other one is store-bought onion. I don't think it's spring onion. It's one kind of an onion. So I use all of it. It's already green, growing the tops. So I'll use towards the end because I already have onion over there. The one experiment that I'm about to do, this was radish. Daikon is one word which is used for it. And okay, I got it. The other is the Urdu word is muli. And I think Japanese, there's a Japanese word also, muli. I'll grow this. It's not about to grow a radish out of it. It'll grow its greens. Putting it water for a few days, it already has started the greens. I'll use the greens when they're young as salads. When they become older or bigger, they become a bit bitter. So I'll use them to saute and cook with it. Okay, let's do a quick growing or planting. Again, I always say, see how easily my hand goes in here because the soil is that good. So I'm done with my planting. Right now, because since the plants are small, they don't look too much. But give it a month, the size of these plants is far more overcrowded. And many of my friends who are gardeners would not like the way I did it. But I prefer doing it this way. Keep the journey with me. Like, subscribe, and you'll see what happens to it. That's done. The last bit, we need to water them. A little bit of water, and that's it. And as I watered that, I'll remind you, what did I did? What did I do? I bought store-bought plants, which I planted. I planted some of the things which have been sitting inside the house because they were store-bought or supermarket bought, and got them to a point that the root system started. So I planted that. This will be a wonderful herb garden. I hope to see you very soon. Thank you.